The Empty Room by Wanderer D. Chapter 7. Luna and the others arrived to the hall where Princess Celestia had been mourning the loss of her daughter and student. The four guards left to guard the entrance. A pair of Pegasi and a pair of Earth ponies had not even known what hit them. One moment they were turning to face them. The next, they were nothing but scorched skeletons crumbling into the burning hall. Had Luna not sensed the magic build-up, her shield would not have come up in time to protect the remaining elements of harmony and the Wonderbolt from searing the guards' fate. From the smoldering hall, two figures trotted out calmly, drawing gasps from the group. Celestia herself was imposing. Her coat wasn't a simple white. It seemed to be made out of white flames. Depending on her movements, traces of yellow or orange seemed to flash around her, making it look like the flames were constantly licking her body. Her wings shone with a searing light. Her mane was the blue-white of a new star. Her horn was wickedly sharp. Her regalia had tints into a platinum white, with an orange opal in the middle. Also made of platinum, her crown had morphed into a half-helm, much like the one that Nightmare Moon had originally worn. Increasingly larger spikes ran from the tip of her snout to before her horn. But even then, she looked mightier and harsher than before. It was her companion that drew the attention of the ponies accompanying Luna. Twilight? Applejack asked, eyes white. The friend stood next to the princess, changed. Her light purple coat was now darker by a few shades. Her purple mane had darkened to almost black, and the lighter light on it had been replaced by a deep red. Her horn extended from the scar on her forehead, twice as long as before, and sharper. Her hooves were pitch black. Her cutie mark remained almost the same, except it looked malevolent. The normally straight edges of her mark had been replaced by wavy curves and reminded the ponies of blades. Her irises were a swirl of red and lavender. She smiled, tiny fangs making her look even more feral. "That's me, all right, Applejack." But it can't be you!" Rainbow stammered. "You died!" "I got better," Twilight answered, running up to the Pegasus and whispering in her ear. "Much better." The Pegasus shivered as her ear twitched from the feel of her friend's breath on it, as much as the feeling of Twilight's coat against hers. "Twilight Spark," Celestia said to her, looking down just slightly. "Don't you have something to tell your friends?" "Spark?" Betty asked. "But—" "Sparkle was okay," Twilight interrupted, "for a filly. But I'm a full-grown mare now, as you can see. A better name seemed appropriate." Applejack shook her head slowly, tears welling up in her eyes as she stepped forward and hugged her friend. "Sugar Cube, you can call yourself Twilight Pastel for all I care. It's good to have you back." She felt Twilight hug her back as she closed her eyes. Her friend was back. Changed, true, but back. It was then she felt Twilight's tongue on her neck. Her eyes snapped open as she pulled away, staring in shock at her friend. "Twilight!" "What?" the librarian asked. "You know you always wanted that, Applejack. I'm not afraid to go all the way now." "Twilight!" Celestia's voice was laden with power. "Yes, mistress," Twilight said, her smile disappearing as she faced her friends. Her eyes sparkled with mischief when Applejack wouldn't meet her gaze. "I welcome you all to the new rule of Queen Nightmare Flare. As royal subjects as you are, you're all welcome to take your rightful places at our side." "Nightmare Flare!" Luna growled. "What type of magic did you delve into, sister?" Her eyes, which had never drifted from the princess, now queen, settled on Twilight. "Was your student really worth destroy all that you have built?" A blast of energy slammed Luna into the far wall. Nightmare Flare calmly walked up to her. "Do you even have to ask?" Her voice was cold. "I lost a filly once." "I'm not losing another one!" "How many times, sister?" Luna asked, her voice barely raised in a whisper, despite her shock and how much her sister had loved Twilight Sparkle. "How many times did we have to remind each other that death had to remain an absolute, despite our love for our friends and subjects? How many times during the centuries, millennia even, did we allow our tears and thought those who alive first, before our sufferings could corrupt us? Nightmare sniffed in content. You are one to talk, sister, but I am not corrupt. If I were, would I be offering you your rightful title as Queen of the Night? Luna was taken aback. What? I don't care for more power. I have all I need. But I do care about balance. Join me. Rule the night eternal as I rule the endless day. They can exist at the same time. We could be the goddesses that we truly are, and rule and care for our subjects personally without worrying about celestial bodies. I, Luna shook her head, that's the purpose of our existence, to bring balance to each other, to limit our power to the benefit of those that please. Nightmare Flare growled. I fed you that crap long enough. Her eyes narrowed. I see I was mistaken. It's not you that I need. I need my real sister. The real Queen of the Night. As he took a menacing step towards Luna, who struggled to get up. You don't mean... The black unicorn gasped. Yes. Nightmare Flare grinned, her horn alight once more. I need you, my sister, to be my equal. I need Nightmare Moon! Nightmare Flare's eyes shone with an air light as her horns glow increased. Luna gasped as he felt the familiar trails of energy flow through her body. But that's impossible! The elements of harmony did nothing more than contain your nature, as I foolishly expected them to, sister. The former Celestia answered. I see now the error of my ways, that you were the wiser of the both of us. No! Luna struggled, niggling aware of the remaining elements, raising their voices and attempting to get past Twilight. You did the right thing. You've been blinded by grief, sister. Don't do this! She gasped as the energy tried to force its way through her towards her center. She closed her eyes and braced herself, her soul finding the enchantment every inch as it made its way inevitably to that core that she knew shouldn't be there anymore. She couldn't pay attention to the physical world as the battle continued. Her world became bathed in soft moonlight. An alicorn made of flames was diving down towards the edge of her subconscious as she charged it, batting away. The flame mare turned around, charging towards her horn trailing energy behind it. They clasped, sending waves of energy flashing around them. Luna struggled with all her inconsiderable might. Her sister's avatar slowly pressed her back into the dark subconscious, and once there she shuddered. Inch by inch she was pushed back. For every flare of energy she mustered, her sister would be more power into her attack. Luna was considerably out of shape for a battle like this. She had not recuperated completely from the elements, freeing her Nightmare Moon. She had already crossed the threshold of just a conscious. Pushed back farther still as the avatar pressed her further back in. She could feel the area where the dark core had been so long ago. And to her horror, she found it not completely gone. Diminished, yes, but not gone. Don't give up! A blue orb of light shouted with Rainbow Dazzle's voice. You can win, Luna! The blue orb settled over her right wing. That's right! Don't let the flaming batting meanie pants win! Pinky Orb said, showering her a pink light. Aren't you alicorns supposed to represent all of us? Then you're part of Pony too. No self-respecting Earth Pony will be pushed back by a unicorn! An orange light, strong and vibrant, said to her right, with a whispered, no offense, Rarity. None taken, dear, a white orb said to her left. We unicorns do have most stylish ways of dealing with ruffians. The white orb hovered around the avatar for a second before turning to Luna's side. But she does have a point, Luna. You represent us all, even more so than your sister at this point. A yellow orb of light, at times as big as the others, at times smaller, floated up to her left wing. We're all here for you, Luna, if you want that, Luna. What happened to Princess? Luna half joked, almost buckling under the pressure. What? The rainbow orb popped up and down. After all we went through when we met, we should have been on first name speaking basis since the Everfree Forest. I doubt it probably be proper to do so in front of others, Red Orb said. So what? We're her friends and we can talk to her however we want. You think of me as a friend? Luna asked, such an honestly flattered. course we'll do, Sugar Cube, Applejack Orb said. Why do you think we're here right now? But, when you're outside.
I guess you said our thoughts have always been with you. Maybe you like this. Never mind.
I'm a little confused as to why we could talk this much in the middle of a fight, Eddie Orb said. It's not normal. Yes, that is strange, Luna agreed. Despite the fact that she was still struggling to hold her sister's avatar back, there had been no sudden influence from power to push her back. In fact, the avatar seemed to be staring at something.
That's because talking is a free action.
Pinky Orb giggled. Luna blinked. For a moment, the orbs around her seemed to do the same. No, it's something else. It's me, another voice said. Lona's eyes widened comically at the purple orb of light that floated between her and the avatar. Twilight Sparkle? The 5 ponies from Ponyville looked in horror as the twisted princess Celestia bowed Princess Luna. Both alicorns covering orbs of energy that pressed against each other. Nightmare Flare had a fierce smile as her eyes blazed with energy, her form towering over the cringing Luna, who had closed her eyes and was frowning in deep concentration. Oh, that's not good, Applejack murmured.
You have to stop them,
Rarity said.
But how?
Spitfire asked.
We did before.
Rainbow Dash said, turning her eyes towards Twilight, trying startling guess at Spitfire.
We stopped Nightmare Moon once. We can do it again. You stop Nightmare Moon?
The Wonderbolt looked incredulously at the other ponies in the room.
It was supposed to be a secret.
Applejack growled. Well, you don't have much of a choice right now. As he looked towards the others, Rarity and Pinkie Pie nodded resolutely. Fireside also nodded, a little bit hesitantly. Applejack turned slowly towards the last element.
Will you help us, Twilight?
Unicorn looked thoughtfully, from one point to the next.
No. What?
Rainbow Dash shouted, flying to stand nose to nose with Twilight Spark.
What do you mean, no? You know perfectly well that I would still be dead if she hadn't awakened.
Twilight Spark's eyes were stone cold. Pegasus, suddenly feeling very unsure, wanted to look away from her, was held fast by his stare.
You wanted me to betray my teacher and mentor.
She suddenly found herself so far away. She released the brush she didn't know she had been holding and looked up to see Fluttershy of all points returning a stare back at Twilight Spark.
Don't you dare use the stare on your friends! What are you thinking? You know this is wrong, Twilight Sparkle. You and I once talked about the power to stare.
Twilight Spark was first surprised, then confused.
We did.
Fluttershy blinked as he looked deep into the unicorn's eyes.
We did. Don't you remember?
Twilight Spark stepped back. She looked really confused for a second. Scared, but then the anger returned in full.
So what if we talked about it? I don't care. I will not betray my queen!
Her horn flared up in a wave of energy through all the ponies flying.
You will not stop Nightmare Moon from coming back! We'll have to stop her, too!
Applejack said, jumping to her host quickly.
But we don't have all 6 elements of harmony,
Rarity said. Her horn created a shield that blocked the skeleton Twilight had levitated and thrown her way.
We'll have to try. Maybe we can cleanse Twilight first. It's bound to be easier to cleanse Twilight without the element of cleansing Celestia without the element of magic.
Your pony retorted. A golden choker decorated with an apple made out of ruby appearing around her neck. Similar chokers, each matching the cutie marks of the other ponies, appeared as they all stood and faced Twilight Spark. Auras of their respective colors formed around them, their backglass dispersing every spell Twilight threw at them. The panicking unicorn starting to throw bigger objects at them to no avail. The auras were suddenly extended and enveloped the unicorn. Gas and pain as the multicolored light destroyed their defenses.
We're doing it!
Fluttershy teared as the light formed a familiar rainbow wall around the transformed unicorn. Suddenly, a hoof set her in the face, sending her spiraling and breaking her concentration. Before the others could react, a back kick almost dropped Rarity right then and there. Pinkie Pie was barely able to dodge the follow-up. Their assailants tackled Rainbow Dash to the floor. Their attacks shattered, and Twilight Spark wasted no time in casting a spell that had Applejack, Rarity, and Pinkie Pie on their bellies, as if a huge weight had suddenly dropped on them. Fluttershy looked up from her prone position, head reeling to stare at their attacker.
Spitfire!
Rainbow Dash growled, trying to unsuccessfully raise her head, more than enough to turn towards the other Pegasus.
What the hell are you doing?
Pegasus smiled. I'm protecting my queen, of course. From within her wings, she drew out a small silver chain with an amulet on it. It is the sacred duty of the Council of Nightmares to bring both sisters to their full power.
But it doesn't make sense,
Rainbow Dash said, the hurt and betrayal in her voice obvious to all around.
Oh, don't worry, Dash,
Spitfire said, leaning close to the angry Pegasus' ear.
You'll understand soon enough.
Tiny Spark, horn glowing, and launching her spell to cover Flare's eye, approached Spitfire. You serve Queen Nightmare Flare, then. And Queen Nightmare Moon. The Red Pegasus nodded, with all my being. Tiny Spark nodded. Good then.
Alas!
Nightmare Flare's voice was victorious. The 5 ponies on the floor turned to look in horror as Luna was surrounded by dark blue energy. The transformed queen stepped back as her sister, seemingly unconscious, floated to hover in front of her. Slowly, the energy formed a familiar shape.
Darn it! Even in this big, I can't escape you!
Flare closed her eyes and whimpered. Rarity and Pinkie Pie stared down, worried glances. Oh, no. Oh, yes, Applejack. I need to get my voice ready. Applejack groaned, barely able to see what was happening past Twilight's hooves. Rainbow Dash didn't say anything, bitter tears welling up in her eyes. Nightmare Moon slowly stood up as Nightmare Flare stepped back to allow her some space. The dark alicorn opened her eyes and turned them towards the elements of harmony. After an awkward discussion about what had happened to her at the Guardian's Maws, Tracy allowed Big Megatos to pull her wagon. Although she could have carried on, it was starting to tax her magic. As she started to notice she lose opacity. You warriors, the strong pony had said in a kind but firm tone. I'm used to pulling. You'll need your strength once we reach Canterlot. Tracy had nodded with a graceful and shy smile, but upon remembering that he could not see her, sighed and used her flash power to write.
Thank you. I really appreciate your help, Big Megatos.
Stallion blushed. Please smile adorning his face as he simply nodded. The comfortable silence and steadfast companionship had calmed Trixie a bit, as she finally asked herself the questions she had avoided, since she'd been exposed by a liar by Twilight Sparkle and friends. She had blamed the whole thing on her, even the fact that the Ursa Minor had attacked the town, when it had really been the 2 colts from she had egged on about her greatness. And really, what she had done the last few years with her life. She had gone from city to city, town to town, antagonizing the locals as they questioned her. Her repertoire was impressive enough, but she decided to embellish it with added bravado, and stories became more extravagant as time went past. The fact that she could defend herself from and defeat multiple opponents by doing things better than them gave credibility to the claims that they were more gullible ponies. But she was truly honest with herself. She had not really done anything better than the other ponies. She was just taking advantage of their exploits, which usually left them a bit winded, as would often happen when excitable ponies tried to make a show of their skills. Has she flown better than the Pegasus with ridiculous rainbow hair? No. She just used her elusive skills to use the rainbow she had created with her skills against her. Perhaps she could claim she had done better than the farmer mare with rope ticks. But again, that would depend on what was being judged. As he attempted to pull the same trick physically, well, she would have been as effective as that earth pony would have been at tying her hoof with magic. And what of the musician in Philadelphia? Or the gunslinger in Appaloosa? She sighed. She had done much to escape from the ghosts of her past. She had run away from home and dropped out of the school to forge her own way, find herself. She wanted to prove to her father she was perfectly capable of achieving much in her life, even surpass him, without the comforts of a life where everything was given to her. In the end, she failed miserably. She had been pathetic enough to ask her father for help, not expecting anything but scorn. And the bastard actually bought her a new stage wagon. There had been a letter or two, but it remained unopened.
Way to leave the ghosts of the past behind, great and powerful Trixie,
She muttered. She looked down at Big Mac. faithfully helping her despite her reputation in Ponyville. She wished she could walk next to him, talk without the impersonal, draining spells to create the words of fire. She wished she could just forget about the whole thing and cuddle with him and tell him all of her secrets, good and bad, because she knew he wouldn't hate her or think less of her. Being a ghost sucked. Being a ghost looking back on her life and finding it was less than adequate sucked. She felt something. She turned to clear her mind. Underneath her wagon, it creaked, and the wheels crushed twigs. Pebbles scraped under the weight of the wagon. Mace Magatoss's pace echoed in the empty night. What had she felt? Her attention towards Candlelight. There. No. It wasn't Candlelight exactly. It was under it. Big Magatoss, please, turn right here, towards the path. Big Mac went to the path, so Trixie pointed out. It seemed old. It was clearly not the way to get to Candlelight. In fact, from what he could see under the moonlight, it went straight into the cliff under the castle. Without a word, he tried down the old path. Tracy probably knew something he didn't. Tracy smiled. Too small, and the world could have seen it. She wouldn't have cared. Despite all her failings, attitude problems, and her situation, Big Magatoss and company, dare he say it, friendship, and made her realize what she had been missing all this time. It had been staring in her face all this time, but it popped up to pull at her head, and she ignored it time and again. But she had found it, and now she would never let go. You know, the funny part of Spitfire's betrayal back there, people, is the fact that had this been released now, I can almost guarantee you that it would not be as surprising as it was in this story. But there you are. Chapter 8. Twilight, you'll heaven me? How? Why? Luna asked, eyes wide. Why wouldn't she? Rainbow Orb asked. After all, your secret! Piggy Orb shouted suddenly. Remember, no telling, your pinky sore. But Rainbow Orb tried again, only to have Applejack fall in front of it. No way, Sugar Cube. That's not for us to tell. Fine! Rainbow Orb sighed decidedly, even dulled a bit. As much as I would like to know what you orbs are talking about, it doesn't explain how she's here, in the outside world, completely on the side of Nightmare Flair. Nightmare who? Applejack Orb asked. Luna blinked. Don't you know? Nightmare Flair, my corrupted sister. See? Told you we were always the last to find out stuff in the whole subconscious. Rainbow Orb floated easily in front of Rarity Orb. Hooray! The White Orb said after a moment. Why, you were right, I was wrong. What? Luna shook her head. How can you be here and not know? What do you mean you were always the last to find out what's happening in my subconscious? We've been here since we healed you, Flare Orb offered. We are the parts of the souls of the ponies you know as Rainbow Dash, Applejack, Piggy Pie, Rarity, Fluttershy, and Twilight Sparkle, the Purple Orb explained, still floating in Nightmare Flare's avatar. We are the wishes of those ponies that you would be healed. We are represented the purest feelings and have been here since the elements of harmony defeated Nightmare Moon, because they wanted us to be with you. With me? Why? They didn't know me back then. They barely know me now, Luna sighed. We know. It takes some time for all the information of your daily activities to reach us. But it does, eventually, Twilight Orb said. But, for my part, Twilight, we all saw who you were when we destroyed that shell that kept you trapped. Applejack Orb interrupted. Deep within each pony that night was the honest wish that you would know true friendship and love from those around you. That you would be happy to be back with your sister, a part of this world again. Luna nodded, tears forming in her eyes. Although Applejack's orb seemed interrupted onto her, she glanced at Twilight Orb, arching an eyebrow. The purple orb hovered silently. It seemed to be hesitating, speaking slowly, as if choosing the words carefully. It finally said, I can tell you this. I am absolutely sure, beyond a doubt, that Twilight Sparkle has been waiting for you to get in contact with her, ever since he met you. Luna sighed. I'll never get a chance now, she sighed, unless I fight and win. She looked resolutely at the orbs hovering around her. It's the only way I'll be able to talk to Twilight. She glanced with a small smile at the other orbs. Also, thank the rest of the elements of harmony for their help. Nightmare Flare's avatar resurged its closer to the Luna's subconscious, but unless its initial attack, it seemed to be trying to push the Twilight Orb out of the way without hurting it. The Twilight Orb hovered in front of the avatar for a moment longer. Do you trust me, Luna? Luna looked at the orb in deep thought, remembering the nights when she stood apparently alone, wondering what to do, and whether the world needed her now. Only for a tiny voice in her mind soothing her, telling her it'd be okay, urging her to talk to her sister when she thought things were too complicated. It had been the Twilight Orb. At least some of it had been there. She was sure of it. Yes, I do, Luna said. Then, Twilight Orb said, moving out of the Avatar's way, let her win. Luna's tears filled up again when she stood defiantly in front of the Avatar, the other orbs hovering uncertainly behind her. It'll be all right, Twilight's voice said. Closing her eyes shut, Luna stepped aside. Sister! Nightmare Flare greeted the reawakened Nightmare Moon. Her voice made the ponies cringe. It was harsh and strong, aggressive, completely unlike the calm and loving voice he had come to relate to Princess Celestia. It had a slight echo to it, as if there were two voices talking at the same time. Thank you for bringing me back, sister, the Dark Man replied, not taking her eyes off the 5 subdued ponies. We should see to our court, the former Princess Celestia said. We need to make every pony aware of the new changes. Yes, but first I want to take care of these ponies, Nightmare Moon said, stepping right up to the struggling group. Twilight and Spitfire lowered their heads at her. I want to get rid of them now, Nightmare Moon declared, her horn lighting up. Nightmare Flare stepped up to her side. Very well, sister. It is your revenge, after all. Please, my queen. Can I keep her? She caressed Applejack's chin with her hoof, earning a glare from the Earth Pony. And I would like Spitfire to keep Rainbow Dash. We have an experiment to perform. The Pegasus and the Unicorn looked at the queens expectantly. Come now, sister. What harm could come from letting them keep 2? The Nightmare Flare asked. The elements of harmony are no more. They could not act against us, and you could still exact your revenge on the others. Nightmare Moon gritted her teeth, glaring down the 3 remaining ponies. Fine. She returned, her horn started to glow. I shall make you suffer for what you did to me. My pony screamed in terror. Stark as he surrounded Rarity, flourished by Pinkie Pie. Goodness, I just want to say, it's been an honor knowing you, Rarity gasped, then turned a dreary eye towards Twilight, who was watching with a maniac smile. Even you, Twilight, before you became this! And the Unicorn reacted. She never got to see it. Black lightning crisscrossed their writhing bodies, and they cried out in pain seemed to overwhelm them. They struggled to run when Twilight released her spell, but Nightmare Moon's power was too much for them. With a sudden crack, all 3 were gone. Only little mounds of ash remained. Where are they? Pinkie Pie! Applejack shuddered. Flashlight! No, Rainbow cried, her foot smashing across the floor. All strength seemed to leave their bodies. They stood there, staring at the ash. Flare gave Nightmare Moon a hard look, but said nothing. You can take them away now. Twilight Spark nodded, looking down at the pair. She smirked. Yeah, these 2 are not going anywhere on their own. Her horn stopped its glowing as she canceled her spell. The moment she felt the spell weaken, Applejack fell straight at Nightmare Moon. Look at you! Luna! How could you! She was suddenly grabbed in the air and flung against the wall. She landed in a thud on the stone floor. Sorry. Twilight Spark said with a vindictive smile. I didn't anticipate that. Nightmare Flare sniffled. Just take them away, Spitfire. All 4 ponies were gone. The sun goddess turned towards the glaring Nightmare Moon. What did you really do with them? Nightmare Moon seemed surprised for a second, then laughed. You're very perceptive, sister. I exiled them to my moon prison. I simply wanted to see the friends suffer when they thought they had died already. Nightmare flared, whinnied. You are devious, sister. Come now, our subjects wait. The silence of the night was broken by the crackling, scratching sounds of wooden wheels on hard rock. As the blue wagon was pulled along the road, the snakes along the cliffs of Canterlot Castle. Tracy shuddered. Whatever was calling her here was getting closer. She didn't know what her destination was. She had never been anywhere near the base of the mountain before. Ponies usually avoided the cliffs and thus climbed the slope leading to Canterlot Castle. Under the moonlight, she could see the rocks older than Canterlot itself, jaggedly adorning the face of the mountains. As she looked up and straightened her neck, she could make out the lights coming from the castle far above. But down here, only silvery moonlight chased the shadows away. Big Macintosh slowed down as he reached the cave. Another, smaller path took off towards the castle above. And that was not what drew their attention. The cave's entrance had been blocked by metallic doors. Tracy could feel whatever was calling her behind them. "We need to go inside," she wrote. "I cannot open the doors with magic." Big Mac nodded. "Don't worry, Trixie," the stallion said, shaking loose from the horse. "I'll take care of it." With a screeching sound, the doors opened. Trixie's magic pushed the wagon into the cave. As soon as she was inside, she jumped to the floor of the cave. It was huge. Torches were lit once they were both inside. Nifty little spells she knew several variations to use for her shows. The floor of the room had a wide circle of runes that contained smaller circles, each with their own runes inscribed on them. Tracy had seen symbols like these before, but she had never bothered to study the ancient languages. It was a shame, she now realized, as despite her usual lack of interest in the academical, she really wanted to know what it said. The chamber was vast. There were 6 columns all around, also decorated with runes. Entrances to smaller chambers could be seen behind each column. "Isn't this amazing, Big Macintosh?" she said excitedly from one side of the room to the other. When he didn't answer, she stopped to look down. He was just looking at her directly with a stoic expression on his face. "Oh, you can't hear me. I forgot. It might be for the best. I wouldn't want to bore you with my whining, and I value your company so much. If we had met when I could still speak to you, I would—" Her horn started glowing and magic dust floated out of her wagon. The words started forming in the air. "Trixie, I could see you, and I could hear you too." Tracy stared at the stallion. The dust forgotten sprinkled onto the floor unheeded. "Really?" she asked, almost choking when she realized that the red stallion had heard everything she just said. "Really?" Big Mac smiled at her. At her. He could see her. Tears falling freely, Tracy jumped forward, arms open to hug him. Smiling, Big Macintosh also made a motion to embrace him. Only for them to both gasp as Trixie sailed right through him. Trixie's eyes twitched. "Oh." Big Mac's eyes slowly widened as a tirade of insults and swear words that followed. "With a bucket full of nails!" she finished. She stood there breathing for a few seconds before glancing at the flabbergasted stallion. She blushed and lowered her head. "I'm sorry, Big Macintosh. I thought—" "It's okay," the Redford pony said after a moment. "We all get angry." Tracy nodded gratefully at him, and both smiled warmly at each other for a couple of minutes. When Tracy realized she had been staring, she immediately looked away, flushing once more. "Ah, yes, the great and powerful Trixie is truly thankful for your kind help." Big Mac chuckled. "My pleasure, Trixie." They started looking at the other smaller caves. Each was also intricately engraved, but unlike the entrance cave, they had some sort of shrines made out of the stone far end. "Trixie," Big Mac whispered, "I think there's something over here," he said, motioning with his head at one of the smaller caves. Intrigued, she followed Big Mac to the cave he had pointed, and carefully looked inside. A unicorn with a blue cloak, slightly darker than Trixie's, stood gazing quietly at the stone shrines. Neither moved, but the unicorn tensed and turned his head around. His cutie mark was a waning crescent moon over a large waxing crescent. His irises were almost a golden hue. His pose was aggressive. Trixie was surprised and immediately touched to see Big Mac sticked up next to her protectively. "Who are you two?" the unicorn demanded. "Leave now." "No, wait a minute," Trixie said, stepping into the room and walking until she was snout to snout with the older unicorn. She pushed him back with her head, glaring. "You do not tell the great and powerful Trixie what to do. Who do you think you are?" The unicorn narrowed his eyes and pushed back, his horn glowing threateningly. "Want to bet?" Trixie's own horn lit up.
You don't even know who you are messing with.
Um,
What is it, Big Mac? I'm about to teach this miscreant what he gets for threatening us.
well, I'll just want to point out you're able to judge him, the stallion said.
You! I!
Trixie stepped back to poke the surprised unicorn in the chest.
Hey, I can touch you.
You can touch me? Unicorn asked, dropping to his haunts, his eyes wide. But how?
Oh, Big Mac, I can touch ponies again!
She sighed with glee, sailing through him as he attempted to tackle him.
Huh?
Ah, the unknown unicorn sighed. That explains it. You're dead, aren't you?
Well, you don't need to put it that way, Trixie mumbled. But yes, I am a ghost.
She looked up, understanding drawing on her.
So that means you.
The unicorn nodded. Just earlier today. He returned to the corner of the cavern, and both could see a bundle of dark cloth over something.
You.
Tracy stepped back to look at the unicorn.
Sorry.
The unicorn shook his head. It's okay, he sighed. Not ever how I pictured I would pass on, you know? I figured by now I'd be with my wife, but I can't leave. Not yet.
Why?
He did look at Big Mac. I think I recognize you. You sell apples at the farmer's market in Canterlot. You live near Ponyfield? Big Mac nodded. I've sold apples from time to time. Never learned your name. Call me Midnight. The unicorn smiled sadly. I'm sorry I threatened you, but I thought you were agents of the Guardian.
Never! Trixie said. The great and powerful Trixie will rip his scaly hide from his bones!
The unicorn blinked. You've met the Guardian? I guess that explains why you're here. So, why are you here? Big Mac asked, standing next to Trixie. The unicorn looked uncomfortable for a moment, then sighed in resignation. Well, I need help anyway. He stepped out of the way and motioned for them to follow him up to the shrine. Both ponies gasped. Is that? Big Macintosh started to say. The unicorn nodded. Yes. This has to remain a secret.
But,
Trixie started to say, still staring. No. Right now, there's nothing we can do. Midnight insisted. Big Mac looked in the direction of the unicorn's body. I could. He'll take care of that for you, he offered. Unicorn lowered his head. That corrupted thing is more dangerous than you think. Leave it alone. A little disturbed, Trixie looked from the body to the unicorn.
corrupted? I think you have a lot to explain, Midnight.
The unicorn nodded silently, looking down at the shrine. Fine. It all began roughly 10 years ago. Eljack was lying on the floor in the dark, staring silently at what she could see of the rug under her. How long had she been there? Hours at least. Her mind was blank. Every time she tried to think of what to do, the image of her three friends being reduced to ashes would replay in her mind. She would despair again. The door opened and twilight sparkled. No, Spark walked in. Applejack didn't even bother to look up there.
Oh, what's wrong, my apple pie?
Twilight asked, walking up to her.
Feeling down?
Why did you do this, Twilight? I thought we were friends! Applejack asked without even looking up.
Oh, Applejack, of course we are friends.
Then why didn't you help us turn Princess Celestia back to normal? The farmer pony asked, lifting her head to look at the purple unicorn.
You have to understand, Applejack. Princess Celestia has been like my mother since I met her.
Twilight said, jumping onto the bed. My dad became really distant when I moved here,
and my mom passed away shortly after that.
Twilight was silent. Oh, they know that, Applejack said, but for the same reason. So when we bring her back to normal, I'll get a team for that liar.
Me?
Twilight blinked. Twilight! Applejack finally stood up and held her friend by her shoulders. You weren't always an evil vampire god filly faller!
An evil?
Twilight blinked and said to the mirror, Oh, well, I guess I can see why you would call me a goth. On the fawns. Oh, I can't suck anything with them. Twilight said,
I think you just look cute.
She smiled, faint something just slightly as he approached the earth pony. Applejack gulped as Twilight Spark nuzzled her.
Unless you want me to bite.
The unicorn whispered. No! 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 Applejack growled, pushing the unicorn away. What's wrong with you? Our friends just died. They were killed by Nightmare Moon. So he's evil. You've always known that. Can't you tell the difference by now?
Oh, Applejack. Nightmare Moon is not evil. He's just ruthless. Like all rulers should be. Besides, if Nightmare Flare is my mom, doesn't that make Nightmare Moon my aunt?
So a twisted little family is worth the lives of Pinkie Pie, Rarity, and Fluttershy. Farmer countered. I'll say you could clear the list.
You seem to be handling it pretty well yourself.
Twilight dryly pulled out. Applejack looked down. I'm hurt, Twilight. I'm hurt more than you can imagine. Earlier, we thought we had lost you. First, I just couldn't stop crying. Pinkie Pie couldn't even smile. Rarity, she just stared at the table. We were all heartbroken. Oh, well, this is depressing. Twilight sighed. Her horn started going. Hi! Applejack shouted as he was levitated off the floor. The princess wall were magical chains wrapped around each of her hooves, holding her aloft once the unicorn had stopped using her magic. Twilight, what the hell do you think you're doing? This is not funny! Twilight's smart had a small smile as he approached. Bat your eyelashes at Applejack.
Oh, let me make you feel better, Applejack.
She said. No, I'm not the Phyllis! The farmer shouted. And even if I were, I would never let a crazy unicorn that does not care at all for her friends. The real Twilight would! She looked deep into her friend's eyes. If you're there, Twilight, that, come back to us! Unicorn gasped. Stepped back. Her horn started glowing, soon a purple armor formed around her. Looking at her, she threw her head back and groaned loudly. Her hose going to her head as she was in pain. Applejack watched it shocked as Twilight twisted in the air. It blasted off, and the unicorn collapsed to the floor, breathing heavily.
Twilight? Oh.
A whimpering voice came from the unicorn.
Applejack, what happened? I feel so strange.
She stumbled as she tried to get up. Hope flared inside Applejack. It's okay, Sugar Cube. Don't stay strong. We'll get out of this mess.
Mess?
Twilight looked up, confused. She looked around the room. They noticed Applejack tied to the wall.
Applejack, who put you there?
Don't worry about that, Twi. Applejack was almost crying with happiness. Just get me down. We need to get Rainbow Dash back. And stop Nightmare Moon and Nightmare Flare.
Who?
Twilight asked as she made her way up to the farmer and stood unsettling her hind legs, leaning heavily against the wall. So her face was close to Applejack's. Let me down, and I'll tell you all about it. Applejack's words were almost a whisper as she stared into Twilight's eyes.
Applejack,
the unicorn said softly, leaning forward until their faces were almost touching.
Yes?
The farmer said softly, teeth blissfully. She intentionally leaned forward just a bit, so her nose was finally touched. Twilight stared at her for a moment before she stifled a laugh. She put a hoof to her mouth, but snorted and fell back laughing. The farmer looked down at the unicorn rolling the floor with laughter and confusion. Twilight!
I'm sorry. That was hilarious.
She laughed for a few more seconds, each of which made the farmer more and more annoyed.
It was amazing. Your face. You should have seen your face.
Twilight! Applejack snapped. Just get me out of here. The unicorn stopped for a moment, then looked at her seriously before cheeks puffed up with barely containing laughter.
Oh, Applejack, you really brought it. Priceless.
Comprehension finally dawned on the farmer pony. Why, you! She started struggling against the chains. When I get my hooves on you.
Oh, don't worry. You will.
Twilight sparked smirked. I expect to have all of you on me at some point in the near future. The farmer growled.
Now, about getting my hooves on some pony. What do you say to getting started?
Boom! Twilight's bark took a step next towards her. Someone knocked on the door. Unicorn sighed.
Really? Don't ponies have better things to do than to bother me right now?
Her horn glowed, and the door opened, revealing two pig-sized silhouettes. Twilight, Nightmare Flare, and Nightmare Moon are going to speak to their subjects, a familiar voice said. Applejack stared, completely baffled by the pair of ponies. And they request your presence there, Spitfire added. You can't start without their daughter, right? I suppose. Twilight sighed.
I was hoping to get some studying done, you know. The Pegasus, with the familiar voice, walked into the room and stared at Applejack before turning to elbow Twilight Spark on the shoulder. Yeah, right. What type of studying were you planning on doing? Oh, you know, basic anatomy, pleasure pain thresholds, pony and conditioning. The unicorn spared a glance at the earth pony. Oh, do you think I broke her? But I haven't even started. Applejack realized the mouth was hanging open and closed it with a snap. Her eyes watered as he forced herself to speak. Wow, what? Shook her head, like pleading at the Pegasus. What's up, Applejack? Dragon cut your tongue? Rainbow Dash asked, her familiar cocky smile unwavering. Do you guys see why I said on that One Piece, My Little Pirates and Adventures in Equestria, I said that as cool as seeing Rainbow Dash go evil is, we kind of have seen it before. Nuts.